Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, I knew this was going to happen, where people were going to come out after the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight and bring up this weight advantage. I knew this was going to happen. I did not know who, which didn't make me no difference, because I'm going to say the same thing I'm going to say irregardless of who the who is. It just so happened that the who in this scenario is Timothy Bradley. Now, I want to say something right now. Timothy Bradley and Paulie Malignaggi both are on record, former world champions, former professional boxers, are on record before this fight saying that Ryan Garcia is not a fighter. Ryan Garcia is not a boxer. Ryan Garcia is a social media sensation. He's a social media darling. He has 10 million followers, and his whole focus is wanting to be a model, a social media sensation. And I told people all week long leading up to this fight that Ryan Garcia is not a social media sensation turned boxer. You see, like Jake and Logan Paul, you see how they're social media sensations and they turned boxers. That's not Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a fighter. He is a boxer that turned social media darling or social media sensation, right? Or social media influencer, right? Yeah, he was a boxer first and he's still a boxer. And people have discredited his accomplishments and the sacrifices that he has made since he was a little kid entering into the sport of boxing as an amateur, now professional. And Timothy Bradley is making references to Ryan Garcia having an advantage in the fight due to him missing weight. And you know what, I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
That Ryan Garcia didn't make the weight, people. I don't care. Like, you have a contract to make a weight. And I don't think Ryan Garcia intended to make the weight at 140 pounds. You know, even after the fact, Ryan was like, well, that's why I would fight at 143. You know, there was no way I was going to make the weight. He knew even going into the fight that he wasn't going to make the weight to begin with. You know, which is one, not right. Two, you're contracted to make 140, and you go into the fight now with an advantage. You know, so what he learned from Gervonta Davis was he took it into this fight against Devin Haney. And, you know, some people say, well, Haney, you know, he took the money, and Haney, of course, he had to, because he was damned if he didn't, and damned if he don't. It's a huge event, man. And now you pull away, now you're going to piss off a lot of folks. The zone, promoters, everybody going to start, oh, he's scared, he's that, he's this and that. It's only 3 pounds, it's only 3 pounds. If it's only 3 pounds, 3 and a 3.2, 3 point, whatever it is, if it's only that, why wasn't it attempted to be made? Why didn't Ryan Garcia attempt to make that weight? Because he said it in a tweet. I'm not going to drain myself. I want to be physically strong for the fight. Well, guess who drained themselves to make their weight? Devin the Dream Haney. Now, it's not Ryan's fault. However, Ryan didn't even attempt to make the weight. So Ryan went into this fight with an advantage. Remember.
All right, I've heard enough. I've heard enough. What we have to deal with is the facts at hand. That's what we're going to deal with. Now, Timothy Bradley did say he believes that Ryan Garcia came into this fight knowing that he was going to miss the weight and he was intentional about not making the weight. There is no evidence to prove that. So that's just Timothy Bradley's opinion. Because if you go back and look at the series called 40 Days, which was the programming for the lead up and build up of this fight throughout the promotion, Ryan Garcia stepped on the scale a couple of weeks before the fight. I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the fight, at 152 pounds. And I said on record on this channel last week on my podcast that Ryan Garcia should not be at 152 pounds, which was 12 pounds over the 140-pound limit 2 weeks before a fight, a week and a half before the fight. And then he weighs in 143.2 at the day of the weigh-in. So it's clear that he was trying to make the weight. But I believe at the last minute, now this is my opinion, at the last minute, maybe a few days out, he realized that he wasn't going to be able to make the weight and not be so drained and be so depleted that he wouldn't even be able to adequately perform. And so I believe at that point, not at the very, very beginning of training camp, but towards the end, he recognized like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. But needless to say, Timothy Bradley said something that was interesting to me. He just said, and y'all heard him, he said, well, y'all know people are going to start saying, come on, man, but Devin Haney, he agreed and he got paid and okay. So that eliminate the opportunity to use the weight advantage as an excuse. And I'm going to give y'all my 3 reasons. Once again, like I did live, I'm going to do it again for the sake of this interview that was just published with Tim Bradley. There are 3 reasons why we have to eliminate the opportunity of using the excuse of this weight advantage. Number 1, Devin Haney is the one who initiated a $500,000 per pound over the weight limit bet. He's the one that initiated the $500,000 bet that if Ryan Garcia came in at a minimum of 1 pound over or above, that he wanted to be compensated $500,000 per pound. Ryan Garcia came in 3 pounds over the weight limit. So do the math. It's very simple. That's $1.5 million that Ryan Garcia shook hands and agreed to pay Devin Haney through a bet that Devin Haney initiated. And guess what happened? Ryan Garcia paid Devin Haney. Devin Haney accepted the terms and he accepted the fight. Reason number 2, Devin was the one who posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, right after Ryan missed weight, right before 11 o'clock in the morning on Friday, 2 hours or 3 hours after the actual weigh-in. Guess what happened? Devin Haney posted that Ryan Garcia missed weight. And he posted he wanted his money. Ryan Garcia responded, I paid you your money. And then he said it at the weigh-in. I paid you your $1.5 million. Right? Okay. And last but not least, number 3, Devin was 25 pounds rehydrated in that Regis Prograis fight a few months ago. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when he rehydrated to 165 plus pounds? Oh, okay. I didn't hear Timothy Bradley say that then when it was a weight disadvantage for Regis Prograis. But now, all of a sudden, Ryan Garcia, the underdog, the man who Tim Bradley said was not a boxer and not a fighter, not only did he beat Devin Haney up, but he knocked him down 3 times and he defeated him. Now, all of a sudden, it was this weight advantage. We can't have it both ways, Tim Bradley. Devin Haney's the one that initiated the bet. He's the one, apparently, that figured that Ryan Garcia was going to come in overweight anyway. He won the bet. He got the money. He took the money. Ryan Garcia suffered the consequence of not only losing 1.5 million, but he also suffered the consequence of not being able to be the 140-pound champion because he actually won. But the belt wasn't on the line for him because that was the consequence of him missing weight. You see how all these variables are important when we talk about this topic of weight disadvantage and weight advantage? You see that? See, Tim Bradley omitted to mention these 3 or 4 elements that I just mentioned. And we can't have it both ways. If you agree to the terms, if you accepted the $1.5 million, if you initiated a bet for the $1.5 million, if you posted a tweet right after Ryan missed weight and then you was 25 pounds, rehydrated, at a weight advantage over Regis Prograis, who you knocked down in the 3rd round in your last fight to become the 140-pound champion, I don't want to hear no excuses from Devin Haney, nor do I want to hear excuses from Tim Bradley, nor do I want to hear excuses from practically anybody when it comes to a weight advantage. We need answers. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.